All right, well, speaking of blurting names out, the newest superstar signing Nick Aldis introduced on SmackDown, Jade Cargill,
Jade.
made her debut as a SmackDown superstar. And, well, we know she's a babyface. She came out signing small children's posters. She looks great. They've already given her an entrance and a lighting look and the whole production and blah, blah, blah. She's being produced for the first time. And honestly, all she really did here was recite a short, memorized promo with very little inflection, but she didn't screw it up and it wasn't too long. And she's got a tagline, "The storm is here," because she's the storm. And she got out. And she looks like well, I can't say looks like $1 million. That's chump change these days. She looked like a lot of money. And didn't do anything. At this point, she looks so good as long as they can make sure she doesn't do anything where her actions diminish her look. She's golden, right?
It was weird when she said, "Cut the shit, Tony."
And, oh, come on now.
What do you think of her being brought in as a babyface, seemingly, at least initially? And, you know, you never know if she turns on someone in this big 6-man match coming up, but what do you think of the idea that brought her in? We've only seen her as a heel, even though at times she's celebrated with her family and had a big entrance and hot women around her. She's been a heel. What do you think of bringing her in as a babyface?
Well, I think they probably figured, why the fuck did they present this girl as a heel when they never wanted her to lose and they wanted her to be I think they probably said, let's try to get away from what she's done previously. She's influenced by it's a new X-Men person.
Storm.
See, I was back at
a new X-Men person. How new is new?
Well, the Beast, the Iceman, Cyclops. Goddamn, the telekinetic girl. It's been a long time. But anyway.
Storm debuted in Giant Size X-Men #1.
See, there you go. That was what, 1975?
75. Isn't that in your zone? The end of your zone?
That was right. That was the end of my zone. Right there. They changed everything. I was morphing out. I was more into the rest. Anyway. The point is, she's a superhero. She looks great. She's not... she's obviously not, and shouldn't have the burden of expecting her to be ready to lead in the ring as a heel. They probably have aligned her with their other baby faces, so some of the heels that are more experienced can lead her in the ring. We go ahead and talk about the angle they do at the end of the show here, since it's the only really thing that connects these two incidents was Jane being involved.
Jade.
But this is the point is they're producing her. And if she's a girl's superhero and she's got heels to work with that can lead her in the ring and she's got this look and they've done the entrance, they're not going to rush it, I don't think. And they're going to try not to put her in positions she's not ready for. And just skipping ahead chronologically, the main event of the program was Bianca versus Dakota. And Bianca hit her with her finish, 1, 2, 3. But then here comes Carrie and Oscar, and they jump Bianca. And Naomi saved it. I swear, did you watch this, Brian?
I did. This was the main event.
Well, when Naomi saved, were you able to count the punches that she threw when she jumped on one of the girls and windmilled her, and then jumped on the other girl and windmilled her? And did you see that if there were 87 of them, out of the 87, 83 at least were either her hitting her own hand over and over or just having a spasm where she was just punching thin air 2 feet from the girl's head?
Well, most boxing matches, the boxer doesn't hit 100% of the time.
Not when you've got one hand tied up in the opponent's hair and she's stationary. the head wasn't moving. She was just swinging like she was fucking swatting gnats off from around her head. Anyway.
They should have had her glowing in the dark while this happened. It would have looked better.
Well, I wish it had been dark where I couldn't have seen this whole thing. But then they stopped Naomi and they got more heat, and then they played Jane's music.
Jade.
And she walked out slowly and purposely in a completely different outfit than she'd worn to do the interview. So she got dressed up to do a fucking run-in that she allegedly didn't know was going to happen. But they did the perfect thing with her. She rolls in the ring and hits 3 carefully orchestrated moves and lays out all 3 of the heels. Front kick and a fucking ding-dong and a flip-flop, whatever they call those things. And she's standing there. She didn't break a sweat, and they're bailing. And she's standing there with the baby faces, and they go off the air. They're producing her. They're not leaving her to go out there and do a bunch of shit, make it up on her own she don't know how to do, as was the case with the previous program. So that's what's going on with Jane.
Jade. And yes, that is what's going on with her. And again, debuting her as a babyface. And I like this segment. Damage Control are good. You know, I have to say, as heels, they're really good. I like them a lot. I like those heels. I like those heels. What a weird statement. But that was the end of the show. Was that everything on the show? Or did you just skip over a bunch of stuff?
I skipped ahead because I wanted to keep the girls' affairs in order there. I'd hate to see somebody lose track of it.